Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're making Christmas tree meringues. These have a few different uses: a dessert, a last minute eatable gift, or a table decoration that you can also eat. They're very easy to make, so if you would like to learn how to make these, then let's get started. To make these little Christmas tree meringues, we're using a classic meringue recipe. If you have a favourite meringue recipe you've used before, you could definitely just use that, but here's the one that I like to use. This recipe makes about 12 medium-sized Christmas trees, so double, triple, or even halve the recipe depending on how many you would like to make. The first thing we need to do is separate 4 good quality free-range eggs, keeping the whites and reserving the yolks to use for something else. They'll last for a few days in the fridge, so add them to an omelette or scrambled eggs, or make this creme brulee recipe. For making meringues, it's best to use old eggs, not fresh, as the proteins are looser and more easily whipped. Make sure your eggs are also at room temperature, as they should be with most baking recipes. Place the whites into a large mixing bowl and set aside. When making meringues, it's best to have all of your ingredients set out and ready, so when it comes time for beating the egg whites, all of the ingredients can be easily added. This recipe requires 2 different types of sugar: caster sugar, which is a fine sugar, and icing sugar, otherwise known as powdered sugar. These sugars tend to be more easily dissolved than regular sugar, as the grains are much smaller. Add both of the sugars to a clean bowl and use a whisk to evenly combine. Either using a hand mixer or a stand mixer, start to beat the egg whites until they form stiff peaks. It's pretty hard to do this by hand. You'll be whisking for hours, so try and get your hands on an electric mixer. Once the egg whites have gained volume and formed stiff peaks, the sugar can be added slowly. Use a spoon and add a small amount at a time, beating until the sugar has disappeared, then adding more. The meringue should turn from foamy to smooth and glossy with the more sugar that is added. It's up to you what you add next, depending on the colour and flavour you would like your Christmas tree meringues to be. I'm adding green food colouring to turn the trees green, peppermint essence for some flavour, and also a small amount of vinegar to stabilise the meringue. Mix your liquid ingredients together in a small bowl before adding to the meringue. Pour into the mixing bowl and beat until everything is evenly combined. To make the Christmas tree shapes, we need to use a piping bag as well as a star piping tip. I'm using a disposable piping bag and a Wilton 2D tip, which I will have both linked in the information box if you are interested. Spoon the meringue into the piping bag until 2/3 full and start to pipe Christmas tree shapes onto the baking sheet with non-stick paper. Try to make all of the trees even sizes so they will cook evenly. Follow up with any type of decorations you would like to add to your tree. I'm using these silver balls which look quite like baubles. Place into a warm oven and bake for 2.5 hours. Once finished baking, turn the oven off and let the Christmas trees cool for another hour. The meringues can be served like this, or you can add a few more finishing touches like a tree topper and some snow. I've melted some dark chocolate and piped a few stars for the tops of the trees. To attach them, I'm piping a small amount of melted chocolate to the top of the tree and using it as a glue to stick on the chocolate star, and finally dusting with some icing sugar to create a snowy look over the trees. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you make them and how they turn out. These are great little edible gifts or even a table decoration. For more edible Christmas gifts, take a look at this peppermint bark recipe. Thank you for watching and have a great Christmas. I will see you in my next video. Bye!